I recently moved house and found myself with some new office space. This is the second bedroom in our property, which is, let's say, modest in size. From this space, I need to do my job of mostly being a YouTuber, but also streaming on Twitch, working on commission for other people, and now, unbelievably, also being an author, which means that I need to use this space very efficiently, especially seeing as it also has to double up as storage for some other stuff. So in this video, I thought I'd take you through the setup that I've landed on after a bunch of iteration and experimentation, and which I think is really quite efficient and practical. There's a lot to talk about back here on this side of the camera, but I think we'll start behind the camera, where I do most of my work. Looking this way, there are several big things you'll notice straight away, perhaps most obviously the acoustic panels. These do an amazing job of killing the room noise in here. Before it was quite echoey. Pull blood, more cup, pull blood, more cup, pull blood, more cup, pull blood, more cup. Next to the panels though, we do have the most important thing in the room, which is of course Jasmine. I put this play stand next to my desk so she can climb up it and sit next to me and judge me while I work, which she does seem to enjoy doing. All of my work, of course, takes place on the PC, which the actual computer itself is down here in the corner. It's quite difficult to film, sorry. Definitely why the cable management looks bad. It actually is good, it looks bad from this angle, all right? This is a PC that my friend built for me. We actually built it together on stream, and here are the specs. I'm not really a hardware kind of guy, so there you go, that's what the computer is. The desk itself is a basic standing desk from IKEA. There's a little handle just under here. And the reason I got this desk is that I need this workstation to do a couple of different things. First of all, it's obviously a place where I can do work. I can have, for example, editing open on this screen and then the script or research open on this screen. But with this pole mount here in the middle of the desk that culminates in a camera mount, I can put the desk into a couple of different configurations. Normally, of course, I'd have a DSLR mounted on here, but I'm using that right now to film this video, so that's why it's not on there. With the desk in its lower position and me sat down, it's in streaming mode. So this is how I stream on Twitch, which looks like this. Although this is a DSLR, so obviously you can change the view and you can go right the way in. Hello. I stream on Twitch multiple times a week, by the way. Sometimes it's science-based stuff, such as going through past papers in science and maths, but sometimes it's painting Warhammer, sometimes it's playing games, and once a week it's the RP Geek stream, which is a Dungeons & Dragons campaign played by professional science communicators, where one week we'll have our adventures, and the next week we talk about the science that we've run into. That mode is further facilitated by one of my favorite pieces of kit. This is a Stream Deck, which allows me to interact with my streaming software, so I can change which scene I'm presenting to the viewers, but I can also do things like play music.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
Obviously, I don't need to use that one very often. These panels behind the computer are called nanoleaf panels, and I use them for my principal light when I'm streaming. The reason I use them is because they're completely customizable, so you can turn them on and off at the touch of a button, or if you want, you could change them to be different colors, or you can even make them react to sound. However, if I unhook the handle and start raising the desk up, then I can put the desk into filming mode. And this is what it looks like in filming mode. Okay, well, I cheated slightly. There's a hair light that I've added up here and there's a big key light over here, but you get the idea. This is how I film my videos, with the camera in exactly the same position as when I'm streaming, just with the desk elevated. This is trying to eliminate any barriers between making content in one form or the other, because I stream and film several times a week. The difference being that you're now at eye level, which means that you have a proper view of the set. My personal hypothesis is that audience members subconsciously view YouTubers as manifestations or avatars of a particular interest or a particular subject. So when I was constructing the set, I wanted it to be practical and somewhere that I could actually store stuff, but also to represent some of those interests, some of those subjects. So you have plenty of books, plenty of science books in particular. You also have science in other ways, like the use of energy and the light bulb, and I guess the globe. It's a bit on the nose. There's references to my online community in the form of Claude the capybara, and of course some Warhammer. In fact, almost all of the bottom 40%, the bottom 2 tiers of the set, is actually off camera and just storage to do with my hobby and painting Warhammer. Every kind of thing here, from basing materials to paints. There's a drawer here which is just for oil paints and inks. This one is for my airbrushing stuff, just to try and keep it organized. The black cladding behind the set isn't painted on because we live in a rental property, and this is actually one of Pixel Girl's ideas, black fabric that you use normally in gardens to prevent weeds from sprouting up through the soil. 2 layers of that hung up on some command strip hooks, and job's a good one. It even gives a really nice texture, I think. The lights illuminating the backdrop are Philips Hue lights, which means they're also controllable via an app, completely customizable, and I like to vary the backdrop in different videos, or even in one video if there's lots of different sections, changing the background color to represent the different sections. As I mentioned earlier, the set is intended to be aesthetic but also practical, so whilst it's full of books, these are books that I actively refer to quite regularly. Somewhat disappointingly, there's also a bunch of fake books which I've put in that very few people seem to have noticed. They're very roughly categorized by sections, including one section that is literally just my to read next pile, and it's depressingly large. On average, I'd say I take something from this set and use it once or twice a day, so it's constantly in use. It's actually worked out really nicely. There's also some other stuff down here, like I think my YouTube plaques here and my degrees, and there's other stuff like some spare notebooks, but it's mostly to do with painting. Stuff that has been painted goes here in the miniatures cabinet in the corner. This is just a Detolf from IKEA with some LED strips. I won't spend much more time on this in the video because I know not everyone's interested, but if you would like to see some close-ups of these models, then you can check out 50 Shades of Space Wolf Grey on Instagram. I also have a YouTube channel, which is Simon Clark Errata, where I upload painting recaps, and you can see some close-ups of, for example, the Hawaiian Orcs, my High Fleet Nostromo Tyranids, my original chapter Space Marines, and also a couple of other things like, for example, this Mandalorian. I haven't uploaded there for a while because I hadn't had much time to paint, but that's changed now because I've finished the book and I can actually get my evenings back. That then just leaves this one wall, which you don't see when I'm streaming or making videos, and this is pretty much just storage. It's where I keep camera equipment, audio equipment, and also lots of gubbins, which I meant to have found a new home for by now, but in the house move, they've just sort of accumulated where they are. There's also bins full of stuff here which I don't use very frequently, like particular camera mounts and chargers and things like that. I do though have these two prints up on the walls. This is a poster that I actually made along with the amazing artist Lizzie Fiakovsky. Basically no one's bought one, but you can buy one if you want. It's all about the different layers and structure of the atmosphere. And then this is a print by Mark Rothko. Most of Rothko's stuff I find quite depressing and blue, literally, whereas this is obviously very energetic and bright and happy, and I like that, and I like how it fits in with the rest of his work. So that's why it's on the wall. In a way, all of the physical stuff in this office is really supplementary to the computer and the data that's on it. That's fundamentally what my job is based on. Over the past decade or so, I've generated about 10 terabytes worth of data, which is partly stored on the computer's hard disk, but then I also have an external hard drive, and some of it's obviously in the cloud. In the past, I've lost an entire hard drive's worth of data because I plugged in the wrong external power source, and just like that, I'd lost years of memories. So for the past several years, just as I have home insurance for the contents of this room in case of fire or burglary, I also have insurance for my data from a company called Backblaze. I've been a happy paying customer of theirs for years, and so when they offered to sponsor a video, it was an easy yes. With Backblaze, you can upload as much of your data as you want, and it can be documents, photos, videos, whatever, and upload it to their servers. And then in case your data is lost or destroyed on your local disk, they can send you your data. That can be a download to your new device, or they can send you a hard drive with your data on it. And considering that I have approximately 10 terabytes of data with them, I think I'd probably go for the hard drive. Backblaze is recommended pretty much everywhere. They've got tons of satisfied customers. They've restored over 50 billion files, and in all the years that I've used them, I have nothing to say but good things. If you'd like to check them out, then you can get a 15-day free trial at backblaze.com/Simon Clark, which allows you to test out their service and also supports this channel. If you do want to carry on after that trial, then it's just $7 a month, which I think is an absolute bargain, considering that we pay for home insurance and car insurance. Your data is arguably even more important. And considering that you can upload as much data as you want, I think $7 a month is a very fair price for peace of mind. That's backblaze.com/Simon Clark if you want to give them a try. Thank you to Backblaze for sponsoring this video, but also for keeping me a happy customer for the past several years. I hope you'll agree that this setup I've landed on is really quite practical. It allows me to stream and make videos and work at the desk and research and paint incredibly easily. That said, if you have any thoughts on the setup or perhaps some ideas about how to improve it, then do let me know down there in the comments. I'd be really interested to get your thoughts. If you'd like to see some other videos from me, then do check out the recommended viewing here. And that just leaves me to say thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do pop the video a like, and I'll see you in the next video.